May I suggest the 2011 Combat Master in combination with the 9mm Major.
What's up guys, Magic Knives here, and in today's video, this is the EMG 2011 Combat Master. Holy crap, if I didn't say that John Wick 3 had an influence on me in terms of wanting to pick up this gun, I'd be lying to you. So, but I was really fortunate. This actually was, this was pre-owned by somebody that was a member or used to do airsoft at the airsoft range that I worked at, and he just decided not to do it. He didn't want to do airsoft anymore, and he had this in the display case. So when we were closing down the airsoft business, I asked him if he still wanted this, and he didn't really want it or bother with it, so I managed to pick this off of him for 80 bucks. Really good deal, considering, you know, the type of gun that it is and the amount of influence that it's had in the firearms world, as well as just, you know, being well known in the John Wick series. First and foremost, I will say I am not a big 1911 or 2011 person. Just because it's an old design, it's not my cup of tea with the manual safety and the grip safety. Just my preference. That said, I know for a fact that if I had to pick a 1911 or 2011, this would be the one. The Combat Master is just a gorgeous, gorgeous piece, especially with the you know, the rose gold barrel. Adds so much nice detail to that, as well as the custom porting. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Now, one thing I did have to change out after I got this pistol was the outer barrel. That's the one disclaimer I'll say, and that's only just because the guy that owned this did IPSC shooting, and he shot this gun a lot and very fast. So there would be times when you were shooting this really fast, the pistol, or sorry, the slide would get jammed up on the outer barrel. So I had to get the outer barrel changed out to a new one, and now it's a lot more smoother now. With your typical 1911 or 2011, you got your grip safety right here, right? You have your Ambidextrous manual safety, which only functions after you've put the magazine in or unrack the slide. Hi-Capas are known to only really, the safeties only works really well on the left side. It does work on the right side, granted it's a bit loose, but you can remedy that just by, when you're taking the safety out, you can put a little dab of super glue on the right safety switch on the little steel rod where it connects with the left manual safety. Let it dry for a little bit, and then you can insert it back in, and then it'll make it much less loose. It will still be loose, but it's unless you are a lefty, you won't really have to really worry too much about that. As you can see, I can still manipulate it to some degree, right? It's just a little bit more effort that I have to put in with moving it up and down. That said, I find with, at least with my with my Combat Master, and maybe this is the same for a lot of Hi-Capas, but the manual safety does get a little bit stiff after some time, and that's just with the little pin that's inside in there. When you take a close look, all you can do to loosen it, if it's getting way too tight, is just put a little bit of silicone oil just right in the gap there, and that'll help put some lubricant on the pin. That way you're able to move the safety a lot easier, and it doesn't take a lot of force to move it. Alright, this is a green gas pistol, at least with the one that I have. There is a CO2 version as far as I'm aware, but I have the these will because I got this pre-owned, I don't have the original magazine for it, which again is obviously an EMG Hi-Capa pistol. It will take 30 rounds. I did actually try one of them with this gun, although I'll get more into that later in this review. But yeah, it does take Tokyo Marui Hi-Capa pistol magazines as well. Granted, I've tried my best to go through an entire magazine. So far, I haven't been able to get through all 31 rounds, at least not with the gas I've been using. I usually use Crossfire Superpower Green Gas, so that one's been working wonders for me for many years, and unfortunately I ran out of stock, so I gotta get some more. So I'm using some Vulcan green gas instead, which isn't as good, and also propane again, it just doesn't seem to be as gas efficient as the Crossfire green gas. So it could be just the gas. I'll let you know in the comments if anything. But yeah, Tokyo Marui mags work just fine. If I were you, I would probably add a little O-ring to the fill valve just so you're not wasting too much gas when you're filling the magazine. But it works either way. The Tokyo Marui magazine, on that note, it will hold 31 rounds, whereas with the EMG magazine that it comes with, it only holds 30 rounds or 29 rounds. So one or two rounds less. So maybe not a big deal for you, but if I plan to, and this is a disclaimer, I'm thinking if I wanna, because if the plan works out that I'm able to start a new airsoft range with the gun store that's moving and next to us, I would want to really consider having this as the one of the pistol options. So I would rather, if I have to resort to the EMG Hi-Capa magazines, then it'll be what, 30 times 3, 90 rounds. If it's with this, you get 93, so an extra 3 bullets essentially. But whichever one is more effective or efficient with this gun, because I will say for certain is that the Tokyo Marui magazine, at least when if I can get it to a more reliable standpoint where it can cycle through the whole magazine and lock back on the last round, that's what I'm hoping for right now. I found with the EMG magazines, so far at least, the ones that I tested, the standard one that has the thicker base plate, it will not, it does not, the little pin on the side here doesn't seem to push the slide lock up enough when I'm shooting. So I just get a lot of dry fires in the end, and there's no short strokes up system in this, so it's like it just doesn't lock back. So now with the Tokyo Marui magazine, it will lock back, right? But because like I said, unless it's the gas, I'm just not able to get enough gas to keep the gun going and get it to the point where it can lock back on the last round. Because the one thing with the Tokyo Marui Hi-Capas that my old airsoft range used, they put a short stroke system into their pistol, so just to disable it and just so it would cycle better. I hated that. I hated the fact that it wouldn't lock back, and it made it more difficult to teach people how to, like, what was going on. So I always liked having the feature of having the slide lock on the last shot, and I think that's important when you're trying to teach first timers how basic pistols work. So I hated that about the Tokyo Marui pistols that my old airsoft range used and the way they set it up, but again, that's just me. Alright, that's just my stance on that. So I'm gonna have to, I am getting more, I am trying another set of EMG Hi-Capa magazines that have a thinner base plate, and I know that doesn't seem like it makes a difference, but it still has the similar style of it is a Hi-Capa magazine. I'm just trying to see if maybe it'll work better, if anything, and just go from there. Right? If you know if any magazines work well with the Combat Master and will actually, is very gas efficient and will lock back on the last shot, let me know down in the comments below. Okay, but yeah, slide lock and slide release, on that note, is only on the left side, just like with any Hi-Capas or 2011s, right? Pretty basic stuff. Magazine release is only on the left side, okay? When you do buy this, granted again, this is pre-owned, so it doesn't have the extended mag release on it. When you buy this new, it will come with that. Granted, I'm not a big fan of it because when you rest the gun on the table, it will automatically eject the magazine out or unlock it essentially. So you can just screw it off. That way you're not risking dropping your magazines when you're setting it down on the table. Just my thoughts. What's really nice too is that the front sight has a fiber optic on it, and the rear sight is just your standard 2011 or Hi-Capa rear sights. Hi-Capas are known for having really loose sights, or loose rear sights, so if anything I would highly recommend Loctiting the screw in, just so you don't have that issue. I will show you now the trigger and how it performs. So gun is empty. Because it's a 2011 and a Hi-Capa or slash Hi-Capa, the take-up is very short. It's only 1 millimeter of play before you hit the wall. So now here, you're talking about a 2-pound trigger here, okay? It only takes 2 pounds really to break through that wall. I mean, this is more designed for racers or people who want to be like John Wick. Reset is about 2 millimeters, so very short reset. Definitely a really nice pistol or trigger, especially if you are looking to do IPSC or just be really, or you're a speed softer, I suppose, right? Yeah, this thing, if you are looking for a race gun, this is a really nice platform. Or if you're just trying to, be like John Wick. On that note, since I was doing that, this does have front serrations on it, so if you do like racking from the front, you do have that option as well. But of course, you do have your serrations at the back too, so either way works fine. One thing I find with the Combat Master is that it does have a nice snap to it when it recoils, but it's a little weak. It's not the most powerful recoil compared to other airsoft pistols that I've shot, but it's there, right? Again, you're not really intending to get a lot of recoil with this because you're mainly just focusing on speed and accuracy with this. So it'll be a nice quick snap of the slide when it recoils, but it's not going to be anything that's going to send shock through your arms or anything like that, and I think that's okay. If you want to adjust your hop up, it's just like with most Hi-Capas or 2011s. You're gonna take out the slide release pin here just by pulling it back like this, and then from here there will be your hop up adjustment with that red dial right there. Okay. Now I did find with mine at least that it was very loose. Even when I was shooting it, it would move instantly. So I put a tiny dab of super glue on the side of it just so that it would hold in place better. And then after a while it was drying, I would move it around a little bit just so it wouldn't be stuck there forever, right? So that is something, if you have a loose hop up, try it, but just be careful, okay? If you do need to disassemble it, there will be a grub screw on the guide rod here, if I can find it. There we go. So when you're disassembling it or cleaning it, there will be a little grub screw right on the guide rod. Be very careful, make sure it's screwed on tightly, that way you don't lose it. So you will need to remove that if you want to disassemble the gun, clean it, do some repairs or replace some parts, right? So that is the only extra hassle that you'll have to deal with when disassembling the Combat Master, right? And then to reassemble it, pretty much pretty straightforward. Just place the slide back, and then the slide release in, and then pretty much good to go. Alright, so that's pretty much everything. Hopefully this video was informative, and if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.